All right. Sunday afternoon. Let's make sure everything's good. All right, let's do this, man. Let's talk some video games, call out some nonsense, and enjoy the rest of our Memorial Day weekend. At least for us here in the U.S. You know, I don't. I got work off tomorrow. I'm sure plenty of y'all have to work day off work tomorrow. You know, I hope your weekend was as good as mine. Just enjoying some gaming, mostly some Redfall, and just having a great time. Hey, Zinc, if you want to join, let me know and I could send you a link. And Tool Man, thank you for joining as well. All right, so the topic of today's show, you guys got you. This blew my mind. Y'all are not gonna believe what came out of Colin Moriarty's mouth. He sounds a lot like say me or he bot. Um, but let's take a look to what he had to say, and we're gonna break down. And we got to call Colin Moriarty out on this one because the PlayStation community is going through something right now. Hey, what's up, man, Terrence? Hey, we're gonna talk about the Last of Us factions, man. We're gonna talk about that, but let's listen to this and let me know if you guys can hear it. Oh, you said it's silent. All right, hold on. All right, let me. Yeah, no problem, guys. I'm gonna fix it. You know, your boy Unlimited just made a minor mistake. Forgot to put. All right, here it is. Okay, now you'll be able to hear it. Oh, this is wonderful. All right, guys, I'm gonna start over.
I think good games are everything. What and if you're a fan of an ecosystem that thinks that, then what are you a fan of? It's about culture. And it's actually really important because it shows that the culture isn't bringing anything mega positive to their output. It makes you wonder why anyone would want them to buy Activision. It's kind of like we're losing, we're going to lose. We have competitors that are incredibly high quality, which he said, in Nintendo and in Sony, and it's just we got to go in a different direction. And I think he's right about all of that, except for the fact that I think it all centers around awesome games. Imagine the situation Xbox would be in if they had The Last of Us, if they had God of War, if they had a Horizon. That wouldn't change anything. Are you kidding? That's what it comes all down to. It's like, how can you say something like that when if you transpose your entire catalog with your competitor and put that shit on Game Pass, you guys would be murdering them. This is a really important point. People are like, who cares? Xbox is making money and Microsoft's making more money than ever off them or whatever. And I'm like, guys, what are you rooting for? Are you rooting for the corporate health of a company or are you rooting for video games to play?
All right, so y'all saw that first part. Y'all saw Colin Moriarty bitching on about Xbox, about how they don't have good games, and oh well, I mean, why would anybody want Xbox to buy Activision if they can't give us good exclusives and this and that, right? So the first part was Colin Moriarty before this week's show, and he sounded like the typical PlayStation fanboy, right? It's only about the exclusive. If Microsoft had their own Last of Us or God of War, look at how much better they be doing, even though it's an objective fact that Microsoft makes more money than Sony, right? So y'all saw that first part, man. Y'all saw that first part. So here it is. Here's Colin Moriarty now.
Few moments later.
Who cares if a game's exclusive or not? I don't know why people are so obsessed with this.
There were
34 games. There were 34 games that, like I said,
I'm with you on that. But
people are like, oh, who cares about Marathon if it's going to be on Xbox? Who cares about Assassin's Creed Mirage? Who cares about Alan Wake 2? Who cares about Dragon's Dogma 2? I don't really care who makes. I don't understand what this obsession is where the game only matters if it comes from first or second party. And while I understand people being disappointed in it, I'm sorry, Kaga.
No, I can finish.
We good.
While I understand people being disappointed in that, Sony and maybe it's just because I'm in the weeds and and I do this professionally, and so I have this stuff going through my head all the time. They are telling you what they're gonna do, and then they do it, and then you have
people on the internet.
Bull fucking shit. Now, so you guys saw it before this week's show. Xbox sucks because they don't have our exclusive. They don't have a Last of Us. They don't have a God of War. The typical nonsense we heard for years. Now, all of a sudden, Colin Moriarty exclusives don't matter. Excuse me? That's shit that I've been saying forever. And by the way, let me say this. What Colin Moriarty said, I agree with. In the second clip, I mean, in the sense that I don't only play exclusives, and I've been saying it for years now. I don't only play exclusives. Exclusives are not the only shit I care about. And yes, do I want Xbox to have great exclusives? Of fucking course. But at the end of the day, I could still play Assassin's Creed and enjoy my gaming. I could still play what was the game I played recently? Marvel's Midnight Sun, and enjoy some gaming, right? So it's just that right now, yeah, exclusives are great for any console, but it's not the end all be all. But here's the thing: I've never, guys, I've never came here and said that, man, Xbox sucks because they don't have exclusives, or PlayStation sucks because they don't have exclusives. I shit on PlayStation all the time, and it's because I don't. Here's the difference. I don't think their games are that great, but that doesn't mean I'm against their exclusives. I'm against the fact that I thought Horizon Forbidden Entertainment was boring as hell. I'm against the fact that I didn't think Spider-Man 2 was the greatest superhero game in the history of superhero games. I didn't think God of War was all that good. But they were still clearly important to the PlayStation identity. Now, Colin, we're not doing this, man. No, you're not moving the goalposts, right? And just like you're saying there, Bum Lau and Terrence, moving the goalpost. He moved it so far to the left, it's out of the field at this point. It's not even in the same arena. He might as well put that goalpost in a basketball arena at this point, guys, because that is a level of that flip-flopping that hard almost disgusts me, because that means that you never believe what you've been saying this whole time, or you're so hell-bent on protecting Sony that whatever your opinion does has got to be pro Sony in some way. And I can't. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to let you do that. And other Zink, thank you for joining me.
Yeah, man, I wouldn't miss it for the world. I just stopped doing everything. This is more important.
Yeah, man. Same here. I was enjoying Redfall. Then somebody sent me this clip, and I was stunned. And I don't know if you even saw the whole clip, so I'll replay it in a second. But this is a two-part. This is a two-part thing.
I saw the clip.
Okay,
I was just waiting around, but you're gonna have to play that clip in about another 15 or 20 minutes for who didn't see it.
Yeah, okay. Sounds good. But yeah, man, but like I was saying, Zink, we're not playing this, we're not doing this, man. Sorry, Colin Moriarty, I seen him say too much shit. Pretty much he said the opposite of what he said here forever. I mean, 90% of his hate against Xbox is that they're not basically PlayStation. He hates the fact that Xbox could buy Activision, could afford to buy them, and he warps reality in his head to make it seem like, well, they're buying Activision because they can't compete with Sony, which is nonsense, right? We know it's nonsense, but that's what he's telling himself, right? And so for him to all of a sudden utter the words about, man, who cares about exclusives? You do. You clearly did before this week. You clearly cared. I'm the one who made multiple videos against you, Colin Moriarty, saying exactly what you said today. That gaming doesn't live and die by exclusives. As great as Gears and Halo is, gaming is clearly, as a whole, is clearly more than that. The biggest games of the year are always multi-plats, especially on Xbox and PlayStation, and especially on PlayStation, really on PlayStation. Right? Where the biggest games of the year is going to be your Fortnites. Call of Duty is literally the best-selling game 15 years in a row. So whenever people were saying that to you, Colin Moriarty, you'd get on your show and you call all them people who said that, y'all call people like us dumbasses and fanboys, and we don't know what we're talking about. It seems like now, Zink, we're the correct ones, because now that PlayStation had a show where they had almost no exclusives, excuse me, tongue tied there, no exclusives except for Spider-Man. Now all of a sudden exclusives don't matter. No, man. I'm treating. Listen, no, Colin. Oh, another thing. Before I pass the mic over to Zinc, this is why I never took anyone seriously who ever said, "Hey, we got to hold Xbox accountable." You know what I'm saying? Because those same people never come. Listen, look how fast it didn't even take them a week to move the goalpost. It didn't even take them a week to all of a sudden other stuff that we were saying for years. And so that's what makes this so funny, because on the surface, I actually do agree with him. I do think that exclusives aren't the be all end all of gaming. The problem is, Colin, I've never told my audience that, man, the only reason why to play on Xbox is because of our exclusive. Nope. I probably pimp Game Pass more than I do any one exclusive at this point, because Game Pass is that damn great. And you know what Game Pass has? A variety of games, right? Just this week we got games like Eastern Exorcist and Planet of Lana, and for weeks now we've had Redfall and Ravenlock and FIFA 23. That's right, FIFA 23, the biggest soccer game in the world, hit Game Pass this week. So Colin, when you're not gonna, sorry, dude, you can't put the content you did for years and years and years and then flip flop and think people are just going to accept it, because you, first of all, what was cut off was that black dude on screen. He said something about how the Sony fan base were cultivated to like exclusives, and let me see if I could find that particular clip.
Yeah, we're gonna answer all of their questions.
Yeah,
and we could start with he's saying that we go ahead.
One second. Let me play. I think this part has what
going through my head all the time. They are telling you what they're gonna do, and then they do it, and then you're
you have
sucks.
people on the internet telling you the opposite.
Who cares if a game's exclusive or not?
Unfortunately, I can't find a clip. But after Colin said that nonsense, the black dude would follow up and said, "Well, the Sony fan base was cultivated to think this way." Hey, Daya, thank you for joining. If you want to join, please let me know, and I'll send you a link, Daya. But yeah, but he said, the guy's like, "Hey, the Sony fans that cultivated think exclusives only matter." And Colin, you're one of the fucking people who turned those Sony fanboys into thinking that way. That's what drives me crazy about this, Zinc. He's sitting here and he's pretending that he's the one with the contrarian opinion, and he doesn't understand. He doesn't understand, Zinc, why gamers, or why the PlayStation gamers at least are so pissed off at this show. The PlayStation gamers do not give a fuck about Dragon Dogma 2, about Street Fighter 6, about Assassin's Creed Mirage. I know this because after the show ended, those were the games they were hating on. The only thing that they praised from that show was one fucking game. You know what that game was? Spider-Man. And why? Not because Spider-Man looked like the greatest thing ever. It's because it was exclusive, and that's all they care about. And I've been telling you for years, Colin Moriarty, the PlayStation fans care about the concept of exclusives. Sometimes they don't even buy the games. They just put it on their list. They rub it in our face. And all right, Dave, I'm about to send you a link shortly. But
Dia needs to get in here.
Yeah, exactly. So let me go send this link to Dia, and Zinc, you take over, man.
Let's go ahead and answer your questions, Colin, because you're an idiot. And this is I'm glad I learned what I learned. Colin, we don't have a God of War, The Last of Us, Uncharted. We don't want that shit. They're not billion-dollar franchises. They are not cash cow franchises. You can't build off of that, Colin. That's why we don't want that shit. It's in court documents, Jim Ryan told you these games aren't enough. They told you where their funding came from. That's why he flew all around the world. Let me explain something to you, Colin. For 23 years, Sony has been trying to find a Halo killer. Can't do it. So the media turns on Halo and try and kill it themselves. There's no game that has the gameplay of Halo, not even Call of Duty, because Call of Duty doesn't even have campaign co-op. It doesn't have a Forge mode. Okay? Is Call of Duty a bigger game? Yes, it is. But you know something? Call of Duty is for the streets. It's for everyone. So the profits are shared. Halo isn't shared by anyone except for Microsoft. Okay? That's what you get. You get Gears. Okay? Another game. Billion-dollar franchise. Cash cow. Those are things you don't have. Forza is another one. Forza was a billion-dollar franchise, Colin. It was cultivated from scratch. Even your boy Other Zinc didn't want it because I wanted Project Gotham more. But Forza grew on me. I'm like, this is crazy. Cultivated, Colin, billion-dollar franchise that spawned another one in Forza Horizon. People can't get enough of that. Sea of Thieves is another one, Colin, making money every single day. This is what now people discover fireworks. You know these things bring in money. Even Flight Simulator. Dia's number one fan, Ramo, probably spent more than $500 on Flight Simulator, and this dude is buying a whole new memory card just for Flight Simulator because the game's so damn big. And then you have Minecraft, Colin. These are things that Sony doesn't have. They bought a franchise for $2.4 billion. Now it's worth north of $30 billion. Okay. See, these are things you don't have, Colin. This is why I love this entire week. Okay. You guys, Colin and all of his crew, and a lot of these YouTubers don't understand this. Sony is not a market leader. If they were a market leader for 20 years, they would be buying Call of Duty.
Yep.
You're a market leader pertaining to your assets. Sony has none. Hey guys, you see something now? You see Sony, the writing's on the wall. Sony knows they're going to lose Call of Duty. It's inevitable. They wasted north of $50 million trying to prolong the inevitable. Now they are liquidating assets. That's what they're doing. Then they put out this silly ass statement. We're going to reinvest 30%, 40%, 50%, 60% to 2025 on games as a service games. No, bro, you're liquidating assets so you could stay alive, chump. Dude, this is unbelievable. What the fallout is going to continue. I'm going to be here. I love it. And here's what I don't like about all of these podcasts that just killed Microsoft for every little thing. Now they're giving Sony's terrible show a 2-part score. Oh, if it's just for gamers, if you're a gamer, now this gamer shit's coming up. Bro, I've been gaming for 52 years. Started with electric car racing sets. That's why I like Forza so much at 2 years old. 52 years I've been playing games, dude. Okay? They want to separate, oh, if you're a gamer, it's a B. Because there are a lot of good games. But if you're a Sony, 5 or 6. The show was trash. If that was Microsoft, we'd be getting annihilated right now. Hey, Dia, get to some of this. Glad I better have showed up.
Yeah, hey Dia, thank you for joining. And did you see the clip Colin Moriarty said before you speak?
No, I didn't.
Okay, good. That gives me an opportunity to replay it. So Daya, I'm gonna replay what Colin Moriarty said. It's a two-part clip because one is the before and after, basically.
Okay.
And you're going to see someone who it's almost disgusting how quickly he flip-flopped. So here's the clip. And all right, here we go. So 1 second.
This is the before.
What? And if you're a fan of an ecosystem that thinks that, then what are you a fan of? It's about culture, and it's actually really important because it shows that the culture isn't bringing anything mega positive to their output. It makes you wonder why anyone would want them to buy Activision. It's kind of like we're losing. We're going to lose. We have competitors that are incredibly high quality, which he said, in Nintendo and in Sony, and it's just we got to go in a different direction. And I think he's right about all of that, except for the fact that I think it all centers around awesome games. Imagine the situation Xbox would be in if they had The Last of Us, if they had God of War, if they had a Horizon. That wouldn't change anything. Are you kidding? That's what it comes all down to. It's like, how can you say something like that when if you transpose your entire catalog with your competitor and put that shit on Game Pass, you guys would be murdering them. This is a really important point. People are like, who cares? Xbox is making money and Microsoft's making more money than ever off them or whatever. And I'm like, guys, what are you rooting for? Are you rooting for the corporate health of a company or are you rooting for video games to play?
A few
All right, Dea. So as you saw, part
Mhm.
one of that clip was pretty much him, the typical Sony fanboy rant of how terrible Xbox is, and if they had their own God of War and Last of Us, blah 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 blah.
Hey, no,
May
no,
I,
no, no,
may I
no.
ask a
Stop.
question? I want to
Hold on.
clarify something. Was he talking
One more
about what
second.
Phil
One more
was saying?
second. One more
Okay.
second before, because the chat is winding up, and before anybody catch me in a lie,
Mhm.
he said Horizon Forbidden Entertainment. If we had that, is he on drugs?
Yeah, yeah.
I know. That's-
Yeah, and but before you got here, Day, I put on screen how Halo made $10 billion and
Right.
Forza's the $1 billion franchise basically, and so that's part one. Here's part two. Now the clip you're about to see, Day, is him today. It was either day or yesterday. It was would guarantee after the Sony show. Just listen how different he sounds.
Okay.
few moments later.
Who cares if a game's exclusive or not? I don't know why people are so obsessed with this.
Ooh, that's a
There were
big
30,
thing.
there were
Careful.
34 games. There
All
were
right,
34
yeah.
games that, like I said,
I'm with you on that. But
people
here's
were
the
like,
thing.
"Oh, who cares about Marathon if it's going to be on Xbox? Who cares about Assassin's
Wow.
Creed Mirage? Who cares about Alan Wake 2? Who cares
Yep.
about Dragon's Dogma 2?"
Wow.
I'm like, I don't really care who makes. I don't understand what this obsession is, where the game only matters if it comes from first or second party. And while I
Mhm.
understand people being disappointed, and I'm sorry, Kaga.
No, I can
Well,
finish.
I understand people-
No,
Oh,
no,
no,
you
not
good.
at all.
You good. We good.
While I understand people being disappointed in that, Sony, and maybe it's just because I'm in the weeds and and I do this professionally, and so I have this stuff going through my head all the time. They are telling you what they're going to do, and then they
Yep.
do it,
Mhm.
and then you're
And
like,
then you
this
have
sucks.
people.
Well, there you go. So, Dea, you saw it, but you saw
Mhm.
before and after. You saw the flip flopping.
Yep.
You saw the moving the goalposts.
Yes,
so let
I
me
did.
get your thoughts on this.
Well, that showcase did what we've been trying to do this entire time. It slapped some sense into these PlayStation guys. I mean, my gosh. that showcase did everything we've ever wanted.
Hmm.
I can't believe I ever heard that out of Colin's mouth. I can't believe it. I just can't believe. Am I awake right now? I mean, my God. And incognito, I'm really I had to go back because I
Say
don't
it.
watch. I
You're
don't watch
disappointed.
I am, because I thought that Cognito, I know he's a PlayStation guy. You can kind of see it, but I thought that he was fair. But when he's grasping at straws the way he was in this video, I'm very disappointed in him because he's actually quite smart. But this must have really hurt these PlayStation fans. It
Yes.
really must have hurt them. Because one thing I can say about Xbox gamers is, unless you got a really delusional gamer, but Xbox gamers know what Xbox is. They pay attention to the company. Colin said, well, why are they rooting for the health of the company? Because Xbox is almost not a company in the business of gaming anymore. That's why. They want the company to be healthy so it can grow, so it can purchase acquire other studios. Therefore, it can grow, it can expand, it can get better. That's what Xbox fans want. Okay, they know what it looks like when a company is struggling, and that's not a thing to be ashamed of, because Phil said that we learned a lot from that.
Right.
Apparently, Sony learned nothing because they're making the same mistakes right now. They're in this situation because they relied on third party, and guess what? They've doubled down on it. Now, I didn't watch that showcase. I don't watch PlayStation showcase because I don't own one. There's no point in me doing it unless they actually bring games to PC, because that's the only other way I'd play it.
Well, dear,
Okay.
the reason I wish you were on the last show we had, because Unlimited straight cussed me out. I was like, hey, are we gonna have? That sounds like we're gonna have an unlimited truth. And
Uh-oh.
Unlimited jumped down my throat. I don't watch the PlayStation show of the Zinc.
Yeah, I don't
We'll
either,
never
yeah.
watch it. And Unlimited just killed me. He was, man. I was about to die.
I heard it was bad, so I decided, okay, I'll watch the Iron Lords broadcast. I heard because King went off, right? I heard that King David went off, so I said,
He
let me
did.
let me take a look at this. Oh my God. I don't even have the words for what I saw. Isn't that guy named J-Dub? Oh my God. If you guys haven't seen that, you gotta watch that live reaction of what happened with that PlayStation showcase. That was unbelievable. I was like, King David, it was like he was feasting. It was
He
like
was.
he was feasting. I
was.
couldn't believe it. But wow. And that was just one of many people that suffered under that
Yes.
showcase. It was unbelievable. The other clips and things I've seen after fact, I couldn't believe it. Because I thought, oh, they're gonna praise Sony for a few days or maybe up to a week or something, try to stretch that stuff
No,
out.
I want Sony dead. I'm holding everybody's feet to the fire. I'm going to, just like they wanted to milk a demo of Halo from 2020. They still talking about Craig to this day, dude.
Right. This is right.
The Last of Us had blackface. And everybody forgot this.
Yes.
You know what? Shout out to everybody that pulled up in here. My boy Tool Man,
Yeah.
Terrence Smith Jr.,
Yes.
J-Rock,
J-Rock pull up in here.
Bum,
Yeah, keep going.
Shane G, J-Rock, the realist,
Fireballs.
Yes, we got some good guys here.
Damn, yeah, Fireballs, man.
Shane G is a super dog
Wilkin,
too. Radiance 97.
Pops.
Wilkin, my boy, up in here.
Bobby Dazzle.
Gogo
my
Poe,
gosh.
always pulling up.
Yeah,
Hey
That's
man,
right.
listen.
And look at what Gogo Post said.
Uh-oh.
You guys are mean to Colin. Lil baby Colin just won a game.
Yeah, and he'll game on anything. And Dr. Vaca always keep us straight. He pulling up in here. Dude, I couldn't. I'm so glad you were doing a show. I thought Sega Man was gonna do a show.
Yes,
but,
same here.
I did too.
Yeah, dude, I'm just charged up. But anyway, go ahead. But I'm not letting anyone off the hook. I wish King David would have been on that show today. But you know me, man. When I saw Unlimited's favorite Colin Moriarty pull up, I turned the show off. I'm like,
yeah, because he's such a.
And this. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
I just want to say this to everybody in the chat, everybody here. Keep the pressure on. They didn't let off of us. They didn't let off of Xbox. They wanted the death of Phil Spencer, basically. They want him gone. They want him fired. So let's take it to them. Okay? Let's bring it to them the same way they brought it to us.
Mm-hmm.
This is our time, and it's not over because Xbox has this showcase coming, and you best believe it's gonna be better than this trash. There's no way. I can't imagine Xbox is gonna do worse than what they did. So
let's stick with the facts. This is a factual show. This is the Unlimited truth. So let me Unlimited. You never talk shit. Unlimited production. How do you feel? What did it make you feel like when? And I'm gonna stop calling you saying that you're too young because you brought up some comics from 1939. I'm like, this dude is crazy. Hey, but Unlimited, how did it make you feel when that show ended and they didn't give a Spider-Man release date?
I felt, I actually felt justified, and I feel justified because what makes this so great for me is that everything that they ever said about Xbox and the Xbox community is coming back to them, and I just love seeing them squirm. Just seeing them squirm, just seeing them say, some of them, I kid you not, Zinc sent me the video of this one dude. He was saying this stuff that we've been saying for years, Daya.
We might as well say his name, Jack Move Johnny.
Yeah,
we say names out here.
Yeah, I didn't remember his name. That
was his name. And go ahead, because he was spot on for like 95% of his show.
Yeah, he was, but being spot on 95% in the show is saying what we've been saying for the last couple of years, though.
Correct.
So I wasn't impressed. I was laughing, Zinc, because like I told you, I'm like, hold on. Everything you're saying was sounding familiar. And then it hit me. Wait, this dude saying exactly what we've been saying for years. How the PlayStation insiders never have info,
right?
And just everything, Daya. But I'm loving it because it's just time. This generation has been fantastic.
It has.
Man. I don't care what anybody says. It's been fantastic, and I know everybody wants to say, "Oh, gaming's mid now, and this, and this." That's on you if you feel that way. And one thing that makes it fantastic is not only have we been getting some great games so far, just seeing the massive turnaround from these communities is it's the best. It is the best thing. That's why I'm doing the show now, because it's hilarious. It was hilarious to see Colin Moriarty say, "Who cares about exclusives?" Basically, wow. And after years, and this is what I don't get, Daya and Zinc. These guys, these guys are saying things now as if we don't have years and years of recordings of them saying the exact opposite. And that's another thing I don't understand. And Bumlout said, imagine if Sony had $1 billion IP like Halo or Gears. Suddenly those would be amazing, right?
Exactly.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and listen, do you know what Sony would do if God of War generated over $10 billion in game and movie revenue? Like games and not just the games, but the movies.
Mhm.
And I think by movies
And
they
their
count
books.
the TV show.
They're
Yeah,
counting it all.
It's not
Yeah.
just a TV show. It's those like short movies and stuff
Short
like that.
films.
I've watched
the
them all.
animated, the animated Halo
Animated,
Loved
movie
them.
years
yeah.
ago.
I've
Yep.
watched them all. So like, yeah, I loved everything.
Oh,
Yeah.
but you know what? The Halo, we don't have a great story. Is that why Halo has 40 plus novels and 3
Yeah.
encyclopedia under its belt?
Yeah.
Thank
Is that
you.
why? And many of them are on the New York's bestseller list all the time. You know, I mean, this is ridiculous.
Thank you. And so when Colin Moriarty was saying, you see, and that was old Colin Moriarty. Old Colin Moriarty wanted to tell everybody how it's Sony's IPs are the money makers.
Yeah.
And yet in 2 seconds I found, oh wait, $10 billion from Halo. Forza has become $1 billion business for Microsoft. Yeah. Show me the Sony equivalent there. Wait, and I'll sit here and wait. I'll wait as long as we can possibly for you to find me their Halo equivalent, because that's where I'm at now. No more Xbox needs a their Last of Us. No. Sony needs their Gears of War. Sony needs their Halo. Sony needs their Forza. Sony needs their Starfield, because I know for sure these are the big franchises, the one that you see on screen. Because the Last of Us. Look at this. It's from September 2021. The Last of Us faction is still in development. And then as of May 25th, The Last of Us 2 factions still need more time. The game came out in 2020.
Okay, let's keep the show factual. Let's ask this question to Dia. Let's see if, let Dia throw in her trash here. Hey, Dia, I know you didn't see the Sony show, but all for 3 years, everybody's been talking about factions. As Dr. Vaca just pointed out in the chat, what about factions? Factions, dear, so are you trying to tell me that The Last of Us released unfinished? Is that it?
It did, because if it came out with the multiplayer before, according to the Pony's definition.
Here it is. Hold on 1 second. I'll let you answer. At 9:01 p.m. at Other Zinc, Halo Infinite was incomplete. For Forge being 7 months late, Factions is 32 plus months late and counting. Go ahead, dear.
Yep. And you know what? This ain't the worst of it. This is, you want to know why they're in shock right now. They're in shock. Okay. It's because, we know that they've had studios shut down. Again, the media is saying nothing about that. Factions is gone. Okay. So for all this long waiting of Factions, it's done for. Because it sounds like Naughty Dog has moved over to what? A single player game? I did find out about that. And they got 3 gas games down already out of their 12 or 100, however many that Jim is trying to put out there. We already know 3's down. They've been sniped out of existence. So
hold on, dear. You let's put that in proper context here. I know you don't want to be hateful, but let's tell that team that was making Factions has been broken up.
Yes.
Whoa.
And sent. Yeah.
Okay,
go ahead, dear. Fire away.
Wow. Okay, it's way worse than I thought. Then okay, I can't keep up with the information because it's been a lot since that showcase. It's been a lot. So they had studios that's gone, Factions has been canceled, 3 gas games that's gone. I don't know what they call themselves restructuring to. They've had the worst showcase that I've ever seen. I mean, people say, well, Xbox had one as bad. I don't remember one as bad as that. I don't remember one where it's that bad. Because if Microsoft did it with third-party content, it would be in Game Pass, so it wouldn't matter. Right?
Excellent point.
That's why they do that. Like Microsoft wouldn't be stupid enough to just have a whole show showing off Sony PlayStation games basically without some angle for them. They're not dumb to do that. If it would have been smarter for Sony to have that in their service or something like that, but they didn't. So that again, they're putting their money in areas that it just doesn't make sense to me. Their money had and everything, terrified of a Microsoft. They're terrified of Xbox because instead of just shifting the money over to adding more, because again, they got PS Plus. How are they going to keep content up for PS Plus when they have
Great
these
point.
about say that they still haven't answered that? Okay, can somebody answer how they're going to handle that? Because their studios are struggling to just make multiplayer games. They can't even do that according to Bungie. That's not me. That's according to Bungie. I guess making that
Ooh.
statement.
Yeah, but Bungie told them that pretty much Factions was garbage.
Was trash. Yeah.
I was just about to say I called Unlimited in a lie, but he went straight for the throat. Bungie said, dude, this game is terrible. He was like, you guys haven't figured out how to make good gameplay yet. This is awful. This will never make it.
Now think about it. They supposed to be the so-called like pillar of game, a game developer, but they can't do for all the attack on 343. Look at what that studio comes out with. You people ought to be, I'm talking to you, chat. You guys ought to be out there praising these studios. Look at what 343 does for you. Look at how many different modes you get with one title, one game. And that is consistent with Microsoft. You want to know why Arcane is doing a multiplayer? Because Phil is letting them do it because that's what he likes. He likes when his studios can do more than one thing. And yes, they're going to make mistakes in the very beginning, just like 343 made a mistake with the gas stuff because they're still learning.
Well, you know what? That's a 50-50 thing, dear, and I'm glad you brought that up.
Right.
Because they came off a deal where you have 1,200 people plus that work for 343.
Right.
They came off of a pandemic where the whole world was at home. Now you're trying to pivot and stay on course. That pushed the whole industry back 2 years, at least 2 years. So they're fighting, trying to put this game out.
Mm-hmm.
Usually it's 3 studios that take care of Call of Duty. That went up to 9 as their contingency plan. It was 5 trying to get Halo out. That was their contingency plan. So guess what I heard this week, dear? I heard COVID shut Sony's show down. I was hearing the COVID excuse. I can't make this up. People were trying to use COVID as an excuse. Nobody offered that to Microsoft, dude, with this massive game. Nobody offered it. And you know what? So it made Microsoft 343, Microsoft, they always have a plan. But when something this catastrophic happens, your plan is backed up. And you're going to spend more money getting this game out. And they still released a flawless project.
They did.
Dude, look, like I think I said this before, I was the main painter on this high rise for this university over here. 44 units. We're almost done. And the sprinklers went off. Sprinklers went off on all 4 floors. And I don't know for anybody that has been in construction and those sprinklers go off, man, you damn near have to do everything over. I mean, you have to dehumidify the whole building. It's insane. So I had to bring in more people just to finish this because this was an expensive unit. I mean, they modernized dormitories now, and this thing was immaculate. So we had to tear our ass apart just to finish before school started in August. You have to pivot and move fast. They pivoted and moved as fast as they possibly could move and still put this game out. So you mean to tell me Factions can't come out in 3 or 4 years?
They had way more time than Halo. The Halo was under pressure because but the fact that they came out with a game as good as they did, and I would say this, which differentiates Halo from, say, a Redfall. Arcane had to be folded into Xbox and stuff, and there was a lot of adjustment on that end. So it's not like Microsoft had hands-on involvement from the very beginning of Redfall. They didn't. The project was already well underway, and they had to deal with whatever they had at that time. So that is the reason why I think, yes, Arcane needed more time, but they probably could have straightened things out earlier in development had they been under Microsoft from the very beginning.
And dear, you have to think about it. Also, coupled with that, That game was started in 2017. What
Mhm.
Unlimited Microsoft purchased them in 2020, 2021?
Yeah, that late.
2020.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that means development was made for that last gen PlayStation.
yep, yep.
Mhm.
It wasn't made with RDNA 2 in mind. So now you're trying to change the focus of the foundation of a development cycle, which is near impossible. But
Mhm.
like we talked, Unlimited had a 10-minute video earlier today on Redfall.
Okay,
And
yeah.
I commented 3 times, Dia commented on it, and now Dia is finding out how hard
Man,
this game.
it's kicking my butt now. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, we're
Yeah.
struggling at this point. I thought I was gonna beat that game quick. Yeah, I take that back.
I've been playing on midnight difficulty, and so
Oh,
when they
yeah.
swarm you,
Same. Yeah.
when they swarm you, you
It's
know
it's
that's
it's all but over. You're not
yeah.
gonna do anything. It's
I'm not as good as you two. Unlimited has a young sharp mind. I'm playing on normal and it's
Mhm.
tough on that. Now
oh
I'm
my
way
gosh.
out there. Like I told Unlimited, I'm 112 hours in on a second map. I love this game to death.
Yes, same
Yeah,
Okay.
here.
it's
But
going to get hard. It scales. I'm
it
convinced
sure
that it
does.
scales now because it's gotten so hard. All my team was talking about is this game has gotten so much hard now.
Yeah.
We was
And
trying to do
let me
some nesting. Oh my gosh.
let me tell you what happened. And this is what I was trying to tell everyone about Gears. Now Gears 5 was made with RDNA 2 in mind, and Rod Ferguson to tell you that. What they do, the reason the game Unlimited, you brought it up
Mhm.
in one of your shows. You said you can't wait till it's not mandatory that you play online.
Yeah, yeah.
Gears Horde is online only because the AI is from cloud
Yeah.
technology.
Oh no, that see that's a different animal though.
Right.
Yeah,
You could still play the original story fine.
but correct. But this game's story is based in
Mm-hmm.
the online mode, and they're
True,
going to
true.
change things as the game goes. Man, I've noticed different changes they've made in Horde. Like at least I was telling my boy Ramo, at least twice a month I'd
Mhm.
see something new. And of course, you know how over 5,000 hours I play the game every day. So
Yeah.
I noticed these subtle changes in the game. I mean, one time the first time it happened, they made the matriarch turn invisible. And I'm like, what? And it was invisible enough where you couldn't see it.
Mhm.
I mean, it was just crazy. But these are the things that you're going to see with Redfall. They're going to continually make changes in this game, and you're not going to know about it until it's
Yep.
too late.
Yep.
State of Decay 2 too. That reminds me of that because that game is constantly growing
Yeah.
and changing and improving. And I believe that Redfall is going to be the same way because that's how Microsoft does things with
Mm-hmm.
their studios. They encourage them to do that. And I'm telling you, I think they're going to direct Arcane in the same way.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Grounded and State of Decay 2, they're pretty much different games from when they originally released. Very
Okay.
different
Okay.
games
And here's the
in a sense.
realist corroborating Dia's story here. I just looked up. The realist at 9:13 p.m. says, "Nah, Sony isn't stupid. Yes, they are realists, but he says Sony isn't stupid. They're just behind. If if they had an app, they would partner work with one of these handheld PCs like Xbox. They're desperate, and they
Yeah.
are desperate. They're very desperate. You know they're desperate, like Dia brought up earlier. They cut 3 studios
Mhm.
now and then laid off 3 studios, and a
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
fourth is Naughty Dog. But like you said, the media isn't talking about it. Sure, they're very desperate. Go ahead, guys.
Yeah. And yeah, you're absolutely right, man. And the realist is right in that they are behind, clearly behind,
Very much
and,
so.
and they're playing catch up. They're playing that's why they're so aggressive. That's why they're being aggressive with these live service games over the next few years. To the point where some like 60% of their first party output's going to be some form of online or service game, right? So
Mhm.
but here's the problem. Here's the problem, and this is why it's going to fail. Sony's fans have been bred and treated and believe in a certain philosophy,
Mm.
and they are not going to accept. They're not going to accept that game Bungie Marathon. They're not going to accept the
Nope.
payday game. I think it's called like fair game or something like
Payday,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, they're not going to.
That clone, yeah.
They're not going to accept Hellbenders 2, right? Those
Mhm.
games are going to come out and be dead in the water. The moment you've got to play with somebody else, basically. And they're already seen it. I already seen it. I've seen people who said, "I don't come here for fair play. I don't come here for marathon. I come here for Spider-Man." Right? And when they, now that the fan base is so aggressively like that, it's going to be very, very difficult. And here's the thing: I've been saying it for years. Sony has been weaning their fans like children off a bottle. To they've been weaning their fans to be like Xbox, basically. So that's why Sony says stuff like, "Well, we're not going to put exclusives out day one until 2 or 3 years later," right? Because now they got the fans accepting, okay, the games are going to come to PC. And what do they say? They say things like, "Well, we still get the games first. Y'all got PC games got to wait years." Right, and stuff like that.
Right.
And then all that's going to happen is that one day, most likely before this generation ends, every Sony game going to be day and date, not just the games like fair games.
And you know what, Unlimited? Here's why that probability won't get here till about 2026 or 2027 if Sony is still here. Because when Microsoft does that, they have games that still replenish their studios because they get money back off of reoccurring profits on a daily basis.
Yeah.
And those are the things that Sony just don't have. All of those games that I named, Forza gives you your money back. Halo gives you money back. Sea of Thieves gives you money back. Flight Simulator gives you money back. Gears give you money back. Everyone gives you money back. Let's get back to being an unlimited truth here. We're going here with you, dear. Let's read. You just missed it, Unlimited. It's at 9:15 p.m. with Radiance 96. All this time, Sony was the one with mismanagement problems.
Hey,
there you go.
Hey, excellent
true.
point, Radiant.
What you think about that bullshit there, dear?
Yeah.
Absolutely. And you know what I like about this more than anything is everything is being exposed. It's like Sony's nude up there and everybody's looking at them for all their worth. Because one thing's for certain, a lot of people have been talking about media bias recently, and now they're looking at Sony and realizing, this pig ain't looking so pretty anymore like we once thought it did. I mean, Sony has been exposed. I mean, I can't believe how this triggered everything. It's like all the bad news just came at one time. Everything is hitting at the same time, and I just think that this is something they can't escape. Normally, you got some ridiculous takes that was from the media talking about this was like a perfect showcase and all this other stuff. I'm like, really? I mean, you guys don't even care about working anymore. I mean, I guess you're gonna go down with the shit because there's no way Sony is going to be able to stay on top. You just can't force that. They can't. They don't have the time. I've said this before. There's not enough time for Sony to catch up to what Microsoft is doing and what other larger entities are doing. They don't operate in that area. They're trying to stay in their safe zone like the movies. But the movies is not really anything. It doesn't factor anything into gaming. Okay? None of that is going to matter. They can have the Last of Us TV show do well and all that, and that's great for people who watch TV because you have to make that for casuals to be able to understand and look at. But for gamers, it doesn't move the aisle at all. They're still not going to gain anything in the cloud arena. If cloud is going to be a big thing, and now it sounds like they're trying to get into it. How are they going to do that? Who are they going to
In the court
with?
documents, Jim Ryan the Great said it'll take 6 years for us to do something like that. No, it'll take longer,
he's
Jim.
Probably right. I don't
He
think
is
he was lying
correct.
to any of those people.
Nope, he was not lying at all.
And that's not enough time. What is Microsoft going to do in 6 years? Think about that. Look how fast Microsoft is moving. Give Microsoft 6 years, you won't even recognize them.
Yeah,
you won't.
yeah.
We don't know what studios they'll have. We don't know what type of games they'll be coming out with. We don't know how their services are going to be at that point. Look at AI and how that's changing everything.
Oh my goodness gracious.
It's unbelievable how fast Microsoft is moving with stuff. There's no way Sony can keep up. But
Yeah.
sorry, go ahead, Limited.
And you're spot on. Of course, listen, the game is over in that aspect. So Sony knows they can't keep up.
They can't keep
You
up
know,
with that.
Colin Moriarty knows that they can't keep up. That's why he says crazy stuff like why would anybody want Xbox to buy Activision? Hey, that's not our decision. You know, when a company makes a decision, they do not ask. They do not ask. Hey, Xbox gamers, should we buy Bethesda?
Yeah.
And have a bunch of people say no. That's not going to happen. That was
Yeah,
never
we
gonna
just
happen.
fall back and say, "Damn, they just
Yeah.
they just bought Cinemax." I'm like,
Exactly.
whoa.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's what we said. And see, and people don't understand this. And this is what I brought out at the top of the show. You are only as good as your assets, and you are only worth, or your forecast is what your investments are. When you buy a studio like ZeniMax, you know you're building on the future here.
Mhm.
You know you're about to make something better because you're bringing them in, you're giving them more funding, and you're going to make that game that Unlimited and Hebot like a lot. Oh man, what's that one game that
Hogwarts Legacy.
nope, before it was 2021. It was the game where the studio said if Microsoft didn't buy us, we wouldn't have put these bosses in the game. We just didn't have that much.
Psychonauts 2.
Psychonauts.
Double Fine did that. Yes.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Though that's what happens, Colin, when you buy a studio. You get a chance to basically realize your vision and expand on that, you know.
Mhm.
And if this doesn't tell you anything, what they did, forget what they did with Minecraft. That's well documented. But I'll talk about that later because they spread Minecraft out so huge, it's
Yeah.
ridiculous. But let's fall all the way back to what they did. Let's take Bungie. Let's take Bungie for instance. They bought Bungie in '99, moved
Mhm.
them from Chicago to Washington,
Mhm.
and they turned Halo around in 9 months and put that game together. Okay, and now you have what you have today. You have all of these books, you have encyclopedia, you have a single player, a multiplayer, campaign co-op, Forge. You have all of these things that no one else has. A super complete package in the game. That's what building something is, and that's what Sony never does, ever.
Yeah, and the realist here said Colin Moriarty can also cover his ass when he's fighting consolidation. I don't want Sony to do it either. Hell, they can't. Yeah, exactly,
Right.
exactly. And with that, I'm gonna replay the clip once again to get everybody caught up for those who you know who probably just joined recently and didn't see the clip. So just give me a second here. So yeah, so like I said earlier, this is a two-part clip. Part one, as you see. Part one is the old Colin Moriarty, the one who says exclusive does matter, and we're going to check out both.
Games or everything. What and if you're a fan of an ecosystem that thinks that, then what are you a fan of? It's about culture, and it's actually really important because it shows that the culture isn't bringing anything mega positive to their output. It makes you wonder why anyone would want them to buy Activision. It's kind of like we're losing. We're going to lose. We have competitors that are incredibly high quality, which he said, in Nintendo and in Sony. And it's just, we got to go in a different direction. And I think he's right about all of that, except for the fact that I think it all centers around awesome games. Imagine the situation Xbox would be in if they had The Last of Us, if they had God of War, if they had a Horizon. That wouldn't change anything. Are you kidding? That's what it comes all down to. It's like, how can you say something like that when if you transpose your entire catalog with your competitor and put that shit on Game Pass, you guys would be murdering them. This is a really important point. People are like, who cares? Xbox is making money and Microsoft's making more money than ever off them or whatever. And I'm like, guys, what are you rooting for? Are you rooting for the corporate health of a company, or are you rooting for video games to play?
Yeah, and Gaga posted the first clip is like 3 weeks ago. That actually makes it worse.
Yeah,
it's more recent.
Yeah, because that means that what he said was earlier this month. Actually, you know, it would have been after Phil did that interview, so that makes a lot of sense.
Right.
So yeah, so that was earlier this month. Here's today, and realist, you aren't blocked, man. I see you perfectly.
A few moments later.
who cares if a game's exclusive or not? I don't know why people are so obsessed with this.
Ooh, that's a
There were
big
30, there were 34
careful.
games. There
Alright,
were 34 games that were, like I said.
I'm with you on that. But
People
here's
are
the
like,
thing.
oh, who cares about Marathon if it's going to be on Xbox? Who cares about Assassin's Creed Mirage? Who cares about Alan Wake 2? Who cares
Yep.
about Dragon's Dogma 2? I don't really care who makes it. I don't understand what this obsession is where the game only matters if it comes from first or second party. And while I understand people being disappointed in it, I'm sorry, Kaga.
No, I can
Well, I
finish.
understand people-
Oh,
no,
you
not
good.
at all.
You good. We good.
While I understand people being disappointed in that, Sony, and maybe it's just because I'm in the weeds and and I do this professionally, and so I have this stuff going through my head all the time. They are telling you what they're gonna do, and then they do it, and then you're
And
like,
then you
this
have
sucks.
people on the internet.
So yes, y'all guys saw it again. The clip that made me do this podcast tonight. That wonderful. Since when did exclusive matter? I mean, that he couldn't have said it perfectly. You know, hell, I'm pretty sure I said that shit word from word before in the past, man. But there is something that I kind of did forget to address, and that's what he said at the very end about how Sony's going to tell you what they do, and they do it anyway. Yeah.
And they
So-
mad about it.
Yeah.
Sony don't tell you nothing. Hey, you know what?
No, Microsoft are the one who's been telling them.
Correct.
And Colin Moriarty's been more pissed than almost anybody on the planet when Microsoft said when Microsoft said like 6-7 years ago, you know, the way to success isn't just counting boxes. He was one of the people that said, well, that's because Xbox One doesn't sell. And then look what company makes more money. Matter of fact, when people brought up they made more money in the past, that pissed them off, right? So and then mind you, Sony a lot of times they do the opposite. Sony has only been honest this last year during whenever they're talking to judges and lawyers.
Mhm.
That's the only time
That's
they've been
it.
honest. Every other time it's been nonsense. Right?
You know what? I want to get you back in here with Unlimited Truth Unlimited. And, you know, shout out to, I haven't seen this name before, X Steel 101. The realist shouted him out. So I guess must be a real dude.
Yeah,
Hey,
he's been around.
So I heard this dude on Sean's show, Dank Fountain 554. And if you think we can be an ass, this dude. Hey, man, he was tripping. Okay, hey, but anyway, here's a question for you, Unlimited. Movie in a game show. Thanks, Jim, for that dog shit. That's from Dank Fountain. Remember how the movie was terrible in 2013. Unlimited, what do you think about a movie being shown in Tuckmaster's favorite Sony show?
Yeah, that I didn't see that coming. But
that was
legendary.
That's the state of Sony right now. They don't have games. They have more movies than games.
That's
now,
true.
right?
And TV shows.
They
And
got
stuff,
you know, I think The Last of Us had some success on HBO Max, and now they're going all in on TV and movies, right? So I don't even know what to say to something like that because it's so bad. It's so rare. It's so rare and it's so baffling. However, I've yet to see a PlayStation fan cry about TV like they did a decade ago.
Oh yeah,
I'll say that.
Yeah,
right?
And Shane G, he came in here and he back on the show. Shane G brought out, Colin brought up console sales and YouTube views all show. Dude, these jokers are amazing.
Wow.
YouTube views.
And people listen to this guy and they say he's smart and everything. I mean,
yes. Why do you think Unlimited and I attack this dude? Any chance we get, he pretends to be smart. He could dazzle people with some words, but it's meaningless. He's a walking contradiction.
Yeah. Colin Moriarty, he'll go on his podcast and he'll say some stuff that sounds good. He'll be like, "Well, you know, Xbox can't pontificate the proper results that we know we have." And then when you actually listen to what he says, it's like, dude, you're not actually saying nothing. You know, the big words don't impress me. Make an actual point. You know, and when he does make a point, it's always nonsense, like in the first clip. So for him to somehow all of a sudden turn into the why does everyone care about exclusives?
Oh my goodness gracious!
Nah, man, we ain't. Like I said at the beginning of the show, we are not doing that, Colin.
You know
we're
why
not
they're
doing
doing that too? Because Microsoft is about to have an avalanche of exclusives, and new IP on top of that. They
Yeah.
know it, and they know they can't combat that. So
Nope.
now exclusives don't mean anything.
See,
Nope.
this is what they're going to do, Dave. This is what they're going to do. Since Xbox gave us a roadmap, a long list of games,
Right.
they're going. Anytime a game isn't shown at an event, they're going to complain about it. So, for example, if Perfect, I already saw it. If Perfect Dark isn't shown this month or next month, they're going to be like, Perfect Dark was shown 2 years ago.
Right.
Xbox, what's
Right.
wrong with the game?
Yep.
Avowed was showed in 2020. Xbox, what's wrong with the game?
Yep.
And I'm gonna beat a dead horse until the horse is nothing but fucking ash and bones.
Since you want to keep beating dead horses, this is one of the reasons that The Realist and Others Inc. went at Hebot so much. We went at Hebot hard, and it was on our show when I just attacked I attacked Hebot to death because he was trying to give credence to Paris Lily. And The Realist had enough of it because they were on New Legal Show, and I was livid. And I just attacked Hebot. I kept asking Hebot, what can Paris Lily teach you about video games? And Hebot said something. I said, no. I said, what can he teach you about video games? So finally, Hebot said nothing. I said, okay, thank you. He can't teach you nothing. So why ask him anything? Don't ask him nothing. He can't teach Hebot nothing. Absolutely nothing. And here we go. The reason I brought that up, Wilkins at 9:28 p.m. Sea of Thieves has far more players with a much less Metacritic score. Colin is not intelligent. And when we listen to these people, the IGNs, because that Cat Williams lady that had that cryptic ass tweet about Sony is going to have a big shot game next year, that was the same asshole that did that stupid interview with Phil Spencer talking about E3, saying Phil Spencer, they're going to have an E3 somewhere in Los Angeles. For people that are listening across the world, Los Angeles is massive. Okay, the state of California is massive.
It's big,
It's so big that the gross domestic product is bigger than all of the UK. All right, so we don't really give a care about what you're saying, CMA, because you ain't nothing. I would have said something else, but Dia is present on a Sunday. But dude, look, we don't need the CMA. They don't.
No,
You're not bigger than one state in our union. Get out of here.
No, not even close, but not even close, and that's what makes this also great to me, because this is just more proof that Xbox One and us Xbox fans, this is just another victory lap for us.
It is, guys.
I mean, things are so bad that Sony fans are pretty much using our content, right? And it's so disingenuous because it's the exact opposite of what they said for years. If I was telling people, man, I only play Xbox because of exclusives, and then all of a sudden I tell the same audience that exclusives don't matter, I would hope that all 40 plus people watching right now would just log off and unsubscribe to me for lying to their faces the whole time. That's how I feel when I see stuff like that. That Colin Moriarty just sat there and, like I've been calling him out for the longest, just lying. And now that Sony's on the receiving end of a gaming drought, now all of a sudden, I don't get it. Of course you get it. How don't you get it? You don't get what you're saying for years? Then you really are a dumbass, because now you're just talking. Didn't that mean that you were just talking nonsense this whole time if you didn't understand your own words? Because again, when Colin Moriarty was a big part of these PlayStation fans who think exclusives are the only thing that matter.
Yeah.
As I shown earlier, if I really wanted to be a jerk, I go back to my old videos and just show all the stuff he was saying for years. And you know what he's never uttered in all the years I've called him out or made videos on him. He's never uttered the words exclusives don't matter. Not even close.
Right.
Nope.
Right.
And the thing about it, the sharp thing about all of these people, the Greg Millers that Phil came on the show, and that's what I'm mad at Microsoft about, and Colin Moriarty, both these guys came from IGN. And they're just not, people just figuring out IGN is super biased.
Yeah.
I mean, all of these, the only one that's not crazy that came from IGN is the girl from Australia, um,
Alana Pierce.
Alana Pierce. Alana Pierce. That's the only one that's not crazy Sony pony that
Oh,
came from IGN.
and here's the
And
sad thing about that. When she joined the writing staff for God of War and the game was delayed, Sony fans attacked her.
yes,
Yeah.
they
And,
did.
and, and,
Yeah.
and I'm talking about attack her with sexual assault type attacks. Some real disgusting stuff, right?
Hmm.
So that's the type of fan base that people like Colin Moriarty,
They
has fostered
spawn.
over the years.
Yeah, and you know what? And I'm glad I came back across this comment way back here at 912 by Bum Lau. He said, Redfall is still amazing in my opinion. It's not perfect, but there's still so much great about the game, and I think it's going to grow like State of Decay and Sea of Thieves did.
Yep. Yep.
And dude, I see it written all over this game. And Phil Spencer said, "No, we still on that game." But people heard the second part of that about them making another game. Yeah, they could do that, and they could just like Gears is being made. They way off into the Gears universe, and I knew this a long time ago. But it's still a team there that continues to perfect and give us new things in horde mode. It's not the biggest multiplayer. I think it's the least multiplayer aspect of Gears, but they even changed that for my ass. But this Redfall, man, I could tell people that, and I'll stake my reputation on it. Oh, here's one thing I thought about when I play Gears Horde, I quit the game out. I don't work off of quick resume because it's a multiplayer game to them. So sometimes if I play Gears and I say, "Oh, it's not working right," I'll quit the game out, go right back in. It's fine. And that's what I think people are having a problem with. They need to quit the game out, treat it as if it's a multiplayer. Don't take it off of quick resume and go ahead and play that game. Because man, I kid you not, I do not run into the problems that I hear people have. And like I said, told Unlimited earlier today, I'm 112 hours into this game, and I could count the times I saw something stupid. And it
Yeah.
was like 6 or 7 times I saw something absolutely stupid in the game.
Yeah.
But even it's every now and again a pouncer won't move in Gears Horde. Okay, every now and again it'll happen. So, but anyway, go on here, guys.
Yeah, no. You're absolutely right. The amount of issues I've had has also been minimal. But I don't know. There's always going to be something funny with Redfall and how they treated it because of what happened with Hi-Fi Rush. Hi-Fi Rush,
Yes.
no insider predicted it. No
Yep.
insider was saying, "Hey, Microsoft got an exclusive coming, guys, and
Right.
it's a cartoony game and none of that stuff, right? No, none, and they were all caught off guard, and everybody loved the game. So my theory is always going to be that Redfall was just retaliation for that.
That's yeah. I agree.
And now that's why they said crazy stuff like Starfield is Xbox last chance and all that stuff, which none of it, not only is none of it true, none of it makes
Yep.
sense because for Xbox, no one game could hurt Xbox. at
Oh,
this
I'm gonna
point.
let you go on that Unlimited. That's what I was gonna say. That's why I brought up Hebot and how he would demoralize the Joker that I brought up, Paris Lilly.
Mhm.
When Paris did that interview, see, listening is a skill. You hear the plethora of games he talked about. Sony doesn't have that many games.
Mhm.
They have 2 games. There, Paris went on and on about game after game after game after game. And that's what you were talking about earlier, Diz. It's just too many games coming.
It is. And
And then last thing, and then when you have this many games coming, it's like what's going on now. There's product planning and product positioning.
Mhm.
And when it hurt Microsoft is when they launched Halo 2 or 3 weeks after Forza, and it hurt them
yeah,
because they were
should've-
steadily climbing every single week. And then Halo released, and boom, it stopped. There was no more climb,
Right.
So, but anyway, go ahead.
Yeah. And and again, like I was saying, no one game could hurt Xbox at this point. Especially Game Pass is pretty much free marketing to 30 plus million players. Because anytime a game hits Game Pass, the moment you turn off you turn on your console, you
Great
know what you
point.
see on screen? Oh, the biggest release, most recent release. And then once you click on it, it literally redirects you to either installing or playing the game.
Right.
When you got access to a customer base like that, and not only that, let's remember, over 70% of Xbox Series S and X owners are subscribed to Game Pass. So
Yeah.
the majority of current gen Xbox owners are Game Pass users at that.
Yeah.
Sorry, the word failure is almost not even an option anymore for any game, especially any Xbox game,
Mhm.
right? Just put it on. Just that's all they got to do for a lot of times. And someone left an excellent comment earlier about how the PlayStation Showcase was excellent for Xbox because because all they did was market a bunch of Xbox games. It took
Yeah.
one tweet to destroy them. And funny thing is, IGN stole that Xbox tweet and removed the "come to Xbox"
I
part
heard
to it.
that. I heard that.
And
Yeah.
everybody got on them over it. I think they deleted it by now because it's been a few days since that happened.
Hey, let's get Dia back in here on something.
Yeah.
And it's something else that we hear all the time, how Bethesda is totally separate from Microsoft. Never would Microsoft ever buy anything and you just running wild by yourself. Hey, Dia, how do you feel about Aaron Greenberg the marketing team taking that picture with Bethesda at Bethesda Studios? I thought Bethesda did their own marketing. They all off by themselves in a corner somewhere. So what do you think about that? Because you see, no podcast picked that up.
Right.
But yet they want to say how separate they are and how stupid Microsoft's marketing is, and they're a $2 trillion company. What do
Well,
you think about that?
they're schizophrenic anyway. Or either Microsoft needs to be more hands-on, or they need to leave the studios alone. They don't know which one they want. I guess you just every week it switches back and then switches forward again. I don't know what it is they want with that. But as far as hands-on, Microsoft is. Phil explained that Starfield has had a lot of assistance from Microsoft.
Yep.
A lot. Okay. To the point that they probably neglected Arcane a little bit. They left Arcane kind of in their own corner, and they thought, maybe Arcane would ask for help if they needed it. But by the time they did, it was too late. So that's what I agree with Phil. He has to teach these studios that come into the fold how to use the resources that are available to them. I think Arcane just didn't know how to tap into the Microsoft assets. I think they did get help from id to help with the shooting. But they didn't reach out to the Microsoft assets. So I think that Phil was correct about that, in that he has to teach the studios on how to fold them in, how do they get access to different support throughout the entirety of Xbox, not just ZeniMax. So I think that narrative is stupid. It doesn't make any sense. And from what I understand, I personally believe that Phil is the one who said, no, this Starfield's not releasing this year. We want you to do some more polish on it. We think it could, use some more of this and that. And I think they were the ones who called the shots on Starfield being delayed another year.
And think about it this way, Dia. You remember when they purchased ZeniMax, and they had that big sit down with Phil Spencer, a couple other guys, and Todd Howard and his team. And Todd Howard told everybody before they were even purchased by Xbox, he said, hey, I called Phil Spencer's like, hey, I'm down. Help me out. Where do I go from here?
Right.
What do you suggest? And this is before they even thought about purchasing
right,
ZeniMax.
Yeah.
So they've always had a great working relationship. So people just reach, man. And if you're not talking, like I think Unlimited or Sega Man said it, if you're not talking about Xbox, you really don't have a show.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. That's true. Yeah. And like I said, Redfall, I think most of these people played 5 minutes of it and they don't really understand how the game actually works.
Yes.
Because in the beginning,
Yes.
when I hear about their complaints, I'm like, yeah, it does seem barren at first. At first, it seems like you're not running into much. But as the game goes on,
Yep.
that character
Yes.
starts to learn that you're running around killing this people and all this, and you start seeing it ramp up. And then when Bellwether gets in there, oh my god.
And no, forget Bellwether. What about that Rook that keeps showing
Oh
up?
my gosh, talk about that, man. You be terrified because every time you kill a single vampire, that bar goes up. You're looking at that with sweat, like, oh, maybe we can get one more kill in because you're trying to get either to a safe room or go back to the engine house or that other place. And you like,
Yes.
and you there's no way you're going to make it from point A to point B without running into a zombie. A vampire. As soon as you kill one more, that's the run.
Yep.
Oh my god. Yeah, that game is good. It's very good. The bones are good.
I love it.
And I definitely I know that it could use some more work. I'm not saying that it can't, but it is good. And when
Dear, what are you playing on?
I'm playing I got a game that's on through Game Pass where I was doing a single player there.
Are you playing on a PC?
I'm playing on PC. Yes.
Hey, Unlimited. Let's dog out Dear here real quick. Dear is over there. She's one of those people that's playing on an 8080 or 9090. Hey, Unlimited, and then she's over here calling Dollar Generals like, hey, did that update? Did the drivers come in yet for the 8080? You know, and see, I do not experience these problems, man.
Yeah, the
really
problems
don't.
are more on the PC side than the console side.
See, hey, we got Dear. You know what? Well, it's Sunday, so I can't say Dear is infiltrating the Xbox community. But Dear, we got to get
accepted me. I thought you wanted me.
Dear, hey, I better stop before my boy Ramo tell his wife's like, hey, don't give Other Zinc no more rice. He said one thing bad about Dear, cut his ass off. I'll be over here starving to death. No, you accept it. The chatter killers too. Yeah. Hey man, let me get on.
People, you my people.
Without question. But you need to play on your Xbox so you could join Unlimited and some great gameplay.
Oh hey, you still
has crossplay.
Yeah, but Unlimited, she's playing on that 8080.
Oh yeah.
And she might pull us down in our perfect play on our Xbox. Hey, but Unlimited, I didn't want you to leave because you at 9:44, Shane G had a comment speaking about how Xbox and Xbox ain't got no games. Meanwhile, we know Sony is the one that really ain't got no games. It was Shane G, 9:44. He said, all I want from the showcase is Starfield, Forza, and Avowed gameplay. Also, please, a Gear 6 teaser CGI. You know what? If they show Gears, I'm out.
I don't think they will though.
Yeah, because y'all lose me. I just panic and go crazy. But I'm the same, man. All I want, I do want to see some Starfield gameplay, but we're gonna get a Starfield show.
Yeah.
I do want more Forza gameplay. We're gonna get a Forza show after the show. Yes, but I really want
Avowed though, if they show
and you want Avowed, and I just want a Forza date. That's all I want. Yeah. I watched the race today, the Indianapolis 500. Shout out to 100 because he and I go at it about he hates NASCAR and auto racing. I love it. And people say it's niche. It was 300,000 people, 300,000 plus people there today. I love IndyCar and NASCAR. And speaking of Ramo, his son was at the damn track at Indianapolis Motor Speedway today. Oh, wow. Yeah, man, we were fired up. But yeah, man, I'm looking for a Forza Motorsport date.
Yeah. I'm looking for Avowed as well.
Yeah.
Hopefully that and some Hellblade because we already know Starfield and Forza is coming.
Yeah.
So I don't worry about games that I know are around the corner. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So those are going to be icing on the cake for me. But seeing some Avowed or Hellblade gameplay, oh man, yeah, that's going to be fantastic.
Yeah, see, my icing on the cake is Gears. I'm not even expecting it. But like I said, I'll go through the roof. But my angst for Forza is killing me.
Right. I think Forza is going to make Now you want to talk about next gen gaming, how it should look and feel, and stuff. I think that's going to be
Correct.
Forza.
Mhm.
That's
Oh,
what's
oh,
gonna-
1,000,000%.
Yeah,
Listen,
Yeah.
they've been saying for years
Yep.
that this next Forza is a generational leap, and after
Yes.
seeing what they showed last year,
Right.
I'm buying in. If I was gambling right now, all chips in type thing, man.
Correct.
Because yeah, they sold me the moment I saw what they were doing last year.
Right.
Mhm.
You know, and earlier this year when they were showing the previews during the January showcase.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because you know Xbox actually gives us content.
That's
You know,
true.
Xbox give us so much content. I think people forget how much we get from Xbox. You know,
Exactly.
that's how I think people see Xbox. That they just flat out forget that no, this ain't this what we're dealing with now is heaven on earth for Xbox gamers. You
It
know?
is, and this is why that whole "I'm selling my Xbox" feel should be fired thing. I don't ever want to hear that again from the
Never.
Xbox community. I expect it from some the
Yes.
ponies, but do not do that here. Okay.
Never, yeah. Listen, like I've always said, Daya, for some reason they choose to sell their Xbox at the weirdest times.
I know.
Mhm.
And
You know-
isn't this like the third time? Because I remember hearing it a couple of times before. How many
Yeah.
times are they going to sell their Xbox?
They were selling their
Yeah.
Xbox last year before last year's showcase.
Right. Because you remember all of them have a PC.
Yeah.
Oh
All
yeah,
of
they
them.
all do. Wink, wink.
Yep.
You know.
Yeah. Wink, wink. Yeah.
that PC for some reason can't run PlayStation games though.
Right.
Yeah, no kidding. That The Last of Us was super terrible. They talked about that for 1 or 2 days and then blasted Starfield, Redfall until to this very second.
Mm-hmm.
And then that dude Greg, who used to work at, I forgot his last name. He used to work at IGN.
Greg Miller.
Greg Miller, yeah.
Yep.
He out there talking trash to PC fans, and I, you know, and that stuff just make me wonder how is it that we get called toxic, but that he doesn't when he literally laughs at people who paid money for a game, but because it was a precious PlayStation exclusive. Oh, this is why you guys should buy a PlayStation.
Yes.
One of the reasons I hate PlayStation because the PlayStation fans will literally hate on you
You're right.
for not worshiping it.
Mhm.
Nobody saw that clip and sold their PC for a PlayStation. If anything, that just made Sony even worse.
Yeah.
Mhm. And I just saw it, and it was Shane G. And it was since y'all bringing it back up about toxic fans, and you never hear of us doing this. Now we'll dog you out, but we ain't sending no D pics to
Right.
people
Right.
like they did to Alana Pierce.
Yeah.
And that other lady, well, I think they did it the same thing for God of War, because they wouldn't show God of War footage or something. They were sending D pics to the chick. Come on, man.
Yeah. It's been just a roller coaster and they're the losing side, by the way.
They are.
There's no debate anymore. There's no doubt. There's no question. Anybody that thinks otherwise is just not living in reality. Because other than console sales, the old metric, which by the way, even back then, even back in 2000, go watch the Xbox documentary. They were saying about the original Xbox. It wasn't the hardware for that console in 2001.
Mhm.
So that wasn't the money maker. It was the software, and that was back then.
And that was OEM that said that the company that make hardware, it was like,
Yes.
bro, the money is made in the software, and you just want us to make this hardware? Come on, man. You got to cut us in on something. They knew.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. So if that wasn't applicable back then when games were cheaper to make and all that stuff, imagine how it is now. So whenever somebody tells me, yeah, but the PlayStation sells this and that, I don't care. Because no other metric shows me anything. They don't make more money. They don't got the service market. They don't got the games. They're not the ones buying Activision. Did y'all see this rumor? The rumor today was going around that Sony's going to buy CD Projekt Red.
Oh, man.
So let me get this straight. So over the since 2020 or whenever Phil put out that tweet that cost Sony $20 million that never got back, Sony was supposed to buy Take-Two. They're going to buy Square Enix. They're going to buy CD Projekt Red. At some point, either what's that phrase? Go shit or get off the pot, something like that. Show me something, because if you keep giving me these rumors and nothing comes up, that means that you're lying. That's all that means.
Mhm.
And what is taking Sony so long? When Microsoft wants to buy something, they just buy them. You know, I mean, they're not like taking ages and stuff and growing old, but while they're trying to purchase something, where is Sony's purchases? The other ones were quick, you know.
Well, the reason that is Sony don't have it like that. They know Sony is not a cash cow. They know they're not. You know, Microsoft could go, like Phil Spencer said. We said this on Unlimited Truth the other day. Phil Spencer said, "Hey, I don't have to tell Satya when I'm going to buy something, but the Activision purchase would have been the largest in Microsoft history.
Right.
It is $68.7 billion. So I think I better let somebody know what's going on." You know, and for people that think Phil Spencer have bosses, well, look, he has one boss. I said this before. And check this out. Phil Spencer looked like the dude on the Captain Morgan bottle telling Brad Smith, "Hey, go that way. Take them down. I want this. Bring it home."
Right.
And I mean, this is Satya Nadella don't know nothing about Activision. He don't know nothing about them unless Phil told him. It's like, "Hey, Phil, you know what? You guys making a lot of money here. You have all of these games over here that's bringing in reoccurring profit on a daily basis. I think you're making a killing. You showed what you did when you bought Gears for $374,000 from Epic. You showed what you did, how you expanded Minecraft from 2.4 billion. Now it's over 30 billion. Hey, what else do you want, Philip?"
Yeah, yep. And since then, they just opened that pocketbook, and Xbox fans, we get whatever we want at this point.
That's true. They have tried to meet everything that Xbox fans have asked for. That's why I have not understood why these people are so quick to abandon Xbox and Phil. Why are you? And then now, Sony fans are starting to feel what we've had to deal with being patient and waiting for these games to be developed, because these games, if they're going to be big AAA games, they're going to take much longer to work out. And now they understand that. Okay. They talked about Xbox. Where's this game? Where's that game? Knowing good and well the studios were small. Some had to be grown. Some had to buy a studio to work out of. Some had to expand their
Wait. Here's Dia pulling the E-Rock. She just says so many things that offer elaboration. They bought studios and like, "Hey, you don't have a place to make games? Here, we have a place for you over here. You guys can have this building right here."
Yep.
Go ahead, Dia.
Yeah, but this, we saying that, look, this is what Microsoft is doing. They're taking some of these studios were very small, and they had to expand. They had to hire new people. They had to create a studio. They created an animation studio. They helped with certain aspects of gaming where some studios were weaker at. They've been meeting all these needs, but it takes time to do all of that. That doesn't just Phil is not a genie where he snaps his finger and then everything is there, so it takes time. But when we was trying to tell people that, they didn't want to hear, where's the games? Well, you know what, Sony, where's your games at?
Right.
Where's Factions at, Sony? Where's that at? I want you to drop that now. How long has it been? Let us see a vertical slice, anything from nothing. There's nothing there because it's gone. Okay.
Dia, they haven't given nothing. Not a demo, nothing.
You don't even know what these gas games are that's coming. Okay. You don't even know. I mean, they got these few little titles and stuff that they got now, but most of the games, their roadmap, you don't even know what's even coming.
Hey, Dia, you know what? You starting to make me mad. First you made me mad with your 90-90. And now you gonna make Tuckmaster mad because you don't think Cat Quest was a great game they showed.
No.
About Cat Quest.
There's another cat game on there too.
It was 3 of them. Goodness gracious, dude.
I'm sorry.
Hey, Dear, you should have heard Unlimited and I, man. Tuck was going off about Cat Quest. He was killing us. Man, I laughed for another hour after that show was
Oh,
over. He
man.
was hurting us with Cat Quest.
Yeah, that was hilarious, man.
Yes, it was.
But you know what else is hilarious? You got to hear this one. This is perfect. This is also hilarious. Let's unmute.
In the middle. I've heard from people that I know, and I think it's fairly obvious that there will be another showcase later.
What was that, Colin? Oh, I gotta hear this insider. I gotta hear this insider again. Hold on, what was that,
Oh,
Colin?
goodness gracious, dude.
People that I know, and I think it's fairly obvious that there will be another showcase later in the year. I assume
What?
Go ahead, dear.
Oh,
Oh,
my
man.
gosh. It feels like I'm in a psych ward and I'm dealing with people who got delusions everywhere. Oh my gosh. Oh my
man.
goodness. These
Oh, my
people would
goodness
talk
gracious,
themselves
dude.
out of anything. Oh my
Absolutely.
gosh. This was Sony's best, Colin. This is Cat Quest is the future, okay?
I can't believe this.
Oh,
Hey,
man.
Unlimited, earlier something cracked you up. Were you reading Dank Fountain in his bullshit?
No. This is what I was laughing at. I saw the clip that he said there's another showcase.
Oh, well,
was
Dank
good.
Fountain was
Oh.
at it again. He was like, Jim, hurry up and drop that PS5 Pro so Phil can slam that
yeah.
Xbox Series Pro on your heads. And you know what, Dank, they don't have to do that because what people, Forza is about to show you
Mhm.
what it is to develop from the ground up with RDNA 2. They're about to show us right now, so they really don't need a next gen refresh. They don't need it.
No.
But of course they're already developing, and I'm sure they have a trigger that they can pull should they need to pull it. But you have to remember it this way: where's Sony getting this money from?
yeah.
It takes billions for R&D for new
Thank you.
hardware. They don't have that.
Thank you. This idea, for some reason, people act like making these consoles, shipping them, building them,
Yeah.
and all that stuff is something that happens overnight. No. Right now, as we speak, these console makers are working on next gen consoles that we're not going to see for another 5 to 7 years, right?
Yep.
Or however long it takes. And what people I really don't think people realize that Microsoft has some contracts with the likes of AMD and
Yep.
everybody else that's providing them new technology that we don't know anything about, that only they do. It's like did people not remember that back in like 2018, Phil literally said things like, "Man, I've been playing the new Xbox for a while now," right? And I think it went over people's head at the time because they were too focused on the Xbox has no game narrative. Right, but
Mhm.
look, guys, that PS4 Pro and Xbox maybe it's been in the works, maybe, but I doubt it. I doubt it this time around. And if I'm wrong, then so be it. I don't
do
mind
too.
admitting when I'm wrong.
Yep.
But these
Agreed.
these consoles, they're not even remotely close to being pushed to their limits right now.
Correct.
And-
Correct. And you know, here's one more. Radiance 96 asked Dia a question. Foam stars. What you think about foam stars?
I was like, I'm not going to just I'm not going to go against these games just
Mhm.
because they're
Yeah,
not
yeah,
like
yeah.
AAA. I don't want to do that. But
No.
it's just that it's funny because for Sony and their elite taste and stuff, this had to be
Yes,
like a sour
that's
candy
what
in
I'm
their
talking
mouth,
about. Right. And their copycat methodology
Yes.
persists.
Yeah.
And you know what? They complimented Nintendo and Xbox by copying their games.
Yep.
Mhm.
'Cause there's a
Expect a Halo
Minecraft.
copycat at some point. Expect probably a State of Decay copycat at some point. Because you know what? They don't even have original ideas.
Nope. They're gone.
I mean,
That-
look at Hi-Fi Rush.
Mhm.
Look at Starfield that's coming. Look at Redfall. None of these are copying. They thought Redfall was like a Left 4 Dead, and it's not. It's anything but that.
Yep.
So
Mhm.
Microsoft is doing different games that you know they're pushing the genres and doing different games. You can't compare these games to anything. They say, well, Starfield is just No Man's Sky. Well, we shall see.
We will
We shall
see.
see.
We'll
Okay.
see.
But yeah, I mean, that's shocking to me. It's like their studios don't have any creativity with the
Yeah.
type of games they're coming up with. They're just lifting it from other places and stuff, and that was shocking.
Yeah, well,
Um,
I believe Foam Stars was a Square Enix game.
Oh, okay, okay. Well,
Mhm.
wait a minute, isn't that okay? So that's exclusive to PlayStation, though, right? Everything
We don't
else
know.
is.
Yeah, we don't know,
Yeah.
but I wouldn't be surprised. But
Me either.
I could see it being on Xbox as well. But with that
Mhm.
said, I got no interest in Splatoon. You know, I'm not going to play
Yeah.
Splatoon in 4K.
Right.
You
Right.
know, in Foam Stars. And the only thing I'll give is that it'll run at better resolution and frame rates than
Yeah.
Splatoon.
Yeah.
I'll give it
Mhm.
that. You know, I got it. I got to throw in my Nintendo hate here and there.
Yeah.
but that's the one thing I'll give it.
hmm And you know what, Bobby Dazzle at 10:05, you better be wrong. Spider-Man early 2024, no games until 2025. Look, hey man, Spider-Man. If Spider-Man falls to 2024, which is possible because they told us fiscal year in 2023, and that's March
March 31st.
March 31st, 2024. If that mug get out of this year, oh man, it's time for unlimited truth.
Yeah,
Whatever day that happens.
I'm unleashing all the hell on earth because last year,
Scorched earth.
yeah, because last year when we had games like Grounded and Hi-Fi Rush, I mean, and High on Life, I mean, that's all they said. But 2020, you had no first party exclusive, no first party AAA exclusives because that's how people. Colin Moriarty, by the way, said that dumb shit last year. Now that I think about it,
Wow.
Yep.
he
Hey,
was one of the ones saying that nonsense. Remember, exclusives don't matter to this guy. But if Xbox had a year like last year, which was still a good year, by the way. Oh
Yep.
no, that's unbearable. I mean, why you know? So it's just I just had to tie everything together on that one because yeah, I hope personally I hope it's delayed till 2024 because I love the chaos. I love the chaos of just seeing the the PlayStation fans. I don't even know what to call this.
hey man, you know what? Jay Dizzle just brought out. Don't leave that. Jay Dizzle brought out something else here.
What?
Look, Jay Dizzle at 10:06 p.m. Ponies were saying that Sony is buying CD Projekt Red to have them begin development on Days Gone 2. That PlayStation Showcase just keeps bringing out more else. Hey, listen, the day somebody from Days Gone's team said we could have had something for this is after the
Yes.
Sony show. You heard
Yes.
that too, dear?
Yes, I
Take
did.
it away. Go ahead
Yes,
then.
they said that if they had been allowed to get approval to make the sequel to Days Gone, that they would have that thing ready to come out by now.
People that yeah, something like this. And
Wow, I
Oh,
didn't.
so was that okay?
Oh, sorry.
What was that? Something? Okay, okay. Yeah, but they so that pain, that Ben Studio thing just keeps coming back to haunt Sony. I think
Yes.
that's got to be a deep regret at this point, letting that studio go the way they did. But yeah, they said they would have had the game ready by now, and I personally believe that Days Gone had potential. Personally, I've seen gameplay of it. I know the first game was a little a
It
little
was
rough.
terrible.
But
And it was terrible. Hey, it was times where the guy was riding a motorcycle, but there was no motorcycle there. Talking about bugs, that was a buggy mess,
Right.
man. But it
But it
did
was
have
they were
potential.
yeah, that was
Go ahead.
a studio that was given a chance to try something, and I'm a little more
You hear that,
sympathetic.
Unlimited?
I'm a little more
Dear, this is
sympathetic
not a
to
good day for you. Are you trying to tell me that they didn't cultivate that studio?
They did not.
Oh,
They did not do that, and I think that studio had potential. I personally believe they did. So it's too bad that studio was abused. And I think the guy that was the director or something like that, he hates Sony. Oh my god.
yeah, buddy.
Yeah.
Oh
Well,
man.
I mean, just look at the difference between Sony and Microsoft, and I'm glad you brought up Days Gone because the reason why there's no Days Gone 2 is because that game get a 90 Metacritic.
It did
Now,
good. For what it was, though.
meanwhile, oh, sorry, Dave, what was that?
I'm sorry. It did good for what it was, though. It
Mhm.
it just
Well-
wasn't to Sony standard. If you get what I'm
Yeah.
saying,
Yeah,
know?
quote,
The
unquote,
reason I'm
quote,
going to
Sony
be
standards.
the reason I'm going to be hard on Days Gone is they had afterwards they brought out a horde mode.
Mhm.
Okay, a
Okay.
one-player horde mode. You can't bring in your friends to fight the horde with you. And Gears has had horde mode forever, and you're going to bring a one-man horde mode version of the game? No, man, that's not keeping up with the times. That's
Right.
like all of the cars having windshield wiper blades, but you're going to release this brand new car with no wiper blades. No,
Right.
man,
Right.
you got to step your game up.
Right. Yeah. And what I was trying to say, but before you guys brought up your great points,
Mhm.
so yeah, that's right. Sony didn't support Days Gone because of stupid reason like review scores. Meanwhile, Phil said we're still going to support Redfall and Arcane.
That's
And
right.
That's leadership.
There you
Yep.
go.
That's leadership. Leadership is not the place the Sony and Jim Ryan a way of we're going to throw we throw the developers or Returnal under the bus. No, it's not our console that was causing the issues. It's the game. When the
Mhm.
Returnal devs would say no, it was the console that was causing the issues.
Yes.
We're not. Sony throws the Days Gone's devs under the bus. We didn't approve a sequel because it didn't get a 90 Metacritic score, which is so stupid. Because why would you base the future of your game off of people whose opinion, like Colin Moriarty? Look at this dude right here. Is this really the guy that tells you, man? He's a lord and master of what video games should be like? Hell no. So instead of just ignoring them like Microsoft does with their games like State of Decay and Sea of Thieves and now Redfall, and just let the devs enact their vision.
Mm-hmm.
So Sony has a bad habit of, I guess as Hebot would put it, caring too much about the perception. But the perception don't matter when you could just essentially tell the fans what to do.
Mhm.
Just put the game out. Now, the problem Sony has that Xbox don't is their Game Pass is not their subscription service is not good,
And it's
All right.
not going to be.
And it's
Yeah,
$18.95 a month.
yeah,
And it's
exactly.
it possibly may raise, and then again, who's going to pay all that money more than Game Pass, and you don't have constant content coming in there? What are you paying for? Sony's games ain't worth all that money.
No,
You might as well just buy the game if that's the case.
great point, dear.
Yeah,
And
that's
you hear how people saying Microsoft have to feed Game Pass. Well, does Sony have to feed their gaming service?
They do. It's a service. Can you imagine a Netflix that never came out with new
Right.
content?
Yeah, or when a game goes to PlayStation Now or Plus, whatever it's called, and that's been on Xbox for years, then they
Right.
brag about it.
Mhm.
Mortals Phoenix Rising. That game's you guys. No, that game's been on Game Pass for
Yes,
like 2
already.
years now, dude.
yeah. And then they're in competition with Game Pass. You think that Xbox is just gonna let Sony outdo that? Because that's their lifeblood. No, they
Mhm.
got to compete with the money that Microsoft puts aside to acquire those games under Game Pass. And by the way, in Sony, it doesn't last very long, whereas Xbox pays for a long time for
Yeah.
that
Yep.
game to sit in their service, so that you have plenty of time to beat it.
Yep. And Dia took the words right out of my mouth. I thought I never had to pay for Streets of Rage 4.
Mhm.
I booted that thing up probably about 2 weeks ago. I had to
Mhm.
pay for it.
Yep.
You-
I got it.
but-
I already have it, but yeah.
and shame on me. Dude, I
Mhm.
have hundreds of hours in this game. I
Yeah.
beat it with every single character. And I mean, I really beat the game to death. But I
Mhm.
just felt like playing it again, And
Right.
I'm like, well, I'll buy it. Hey, I didn't hesitate to buy that game.
Yeah. That Ninja Turtle game that released last year was day one on Game Pass.
Oh yeah, I
Mhm.
bought that too because it was so good.
Yeah,
I love those games.
That was
Yeah.
a great game. That's such
Yeah.
a trip down memory lane, man.
Yeah.
I grew up on stuff like that. But the point is, man, it just shows how great Xbox is, how we could go on these tangents about all these great games we played thanks to Xbox and Game Pass. You know, meanwhile, Colin Moriarty's got to say exclusive don't matter and lie about a
Oh my
showcase
goodness.
that's not coming anytime soon.
I
All right,
tried to
pal.
forget about that.
All right, and then what annoys me is that they don't give follow-up questions. So
Yes.
when is the showcase, Colin? Oh, I don't know. My insider just said that they're going to do another one. Huh? What game's going to be shown? Oh, I don't know. Sony sure does got a lot in the chamber though. What game you talking about? Oh, I can't really say because that's what would happen if people actually further ask questions. He'll give you non-answers, and non-answers are boring.
Exactly. And that he would get caught up.
Yeah, and they're boring because they're not true.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Just like how Jeff Grubb lied about Hi-Fi Rush about a month ago.
Yeah, and then compounded his lie saying that the people above Phil Spencer are mad about Game Pass. I'm like, huh? And then the boss came out. Satya said how it's $1 billion to our bottom
Right.
line this
Yeah.
quarter.
Right.
Now what, Jeff? What your sources got to say now? You know, it's just crazy, man. And Pixel Big G, I hope you're talking about this. He said, y'all see how they played cute with the numbers,
Oh yeah.
and it only grew like 1 million a year. And see, I think he's talking about
The PlayStation.
no, he's
Oh,
talking about
the
Days Gone.
PlayStation?
Oh,
Oh, Days
I'm
Gone?
I'm thinking he's talking about Days Gone
I'm
because
thinking
they
it's the
said
PlayStation Plus numbers.
that could be
PlayStation
true.
Plus, yeah. Maybe
They could
that,
both be
yeah.
true. But Days Gone, they said it sold 8 million. No way. Sales in gaming don't work like that unless you're GTA or Forza Horizon or Halo, where you're offering something all of the time and people wind up buying your game over and over and over again. And GTA had this one trick where it just kept selling the game because they were buying so many packs to the game. But games like Days Gone, you're going to get most of your sales in that first weekend. Then the numbers start to go down the following weekend. Third weekend will go down, and then it's just low from that point on to nothing. You don't have a spike in sales of all of a sudden you go from selling 1 million or 500,000 in the first weekend. Now all of a sudden you're selling 8 million over the life of your. Somebody said 8 million at $60. I'm like, man, come
No,
on.
oh no, God.
I'm
no.
like, what's wrong with you?
That's not even.
No.
I couldn't even entertain someone who said
No,
something like
it's
that.
it's like what I did the other day, Eliminated. We were on a show, and because of the 35 million people that's on Game Pass, I bought Splinter Cell Chaos Theory. I have 2 copies of the game already,
Okay.
hard copies. I bought it because it was $4.99. All right, so
Oh,
we
nice.
gonna count that in the sale. Now it's at 60 million. 60 million people didn't buy the game. I'm just making up a number, but 60 million people didn't buy the game at $60, bro.
Yeah.
Now my first 2 copies were day one. I paid $120, $60 each. You know, but you know, I bought it for my son, and
Right.
you know, yeah.
Yeah, good stuff, and I think we're gonna start calling it a night there. You know, I don't know about y'all, but I got the day off tomorrow, so that's why, did a
Yeah.
nice fun Sunday show.
Oh,
But
nice.
yeah,
Nice.
yeah. Plus, what was said today is just so hilarious that I knew you guys would enjoy it. The chat really enjoyed it. The chat was fantastic today.
Yeah,
My
man.
goodness.
Yeah, we got some
Yeah.
good compliments here too, man.
Yeah,
They said
man.
we're the only ones that don't pony bot. No, we don't.
Oh,
And
no.
like this, the
Mhm.
second half of Shane G's comment at 10:15, he was having an exchange with Gogol Poe, and he
Mhm.
was like, "Cog, Attic, and Solve after 1 hour. We're already going by Colin's new terms of after killing Xbox." You know,
Wow.
and dude, and that's the thing. And I knew when King David was not on that show, I knew it was not going to. The culmination wasn't going to be good.
Yeah.
Right.
It,
Right.
it always. I was listening to shows where we would be getting bashed over and over and over again if we would have done something like this. But it seems like when you get Mr. Bad Bit in there and Bit Cloud in there and all of these Sony fanatics in there, they always revert back to hating Xbox
Yes.
somehow. It's the most amazing thing. If I were ever on one of those shows, dude, it would be the most disruptive thing in the world because I don't have to look at Google all day. I remember the garbage that
Yeah.
was said about Xbox 2 decades ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
They'd kick me off because I'm opening my screen and I'm showing all the contradictory stuff to what they say the minute they say it.
Yeah.
Colin Moriarty says exclusives don't matter. I am going to find the clips where he said otherwise. Kick me off.
And then Unlimited would say, "Hey, is this you, Colin? Did you
Yeah.
say this, or did somebody hack your account?"
Exactly. They'd hate me because I'm giving them. I give them all the facts the moment they start lying.
Mhm.
Goggle Post said, I like Iron Lord, but they're pretty much neutral now. I don't mind that. Just don't advertise as an Xbox channel. It's kind of false advertising.
Correct. And everybody knows, if you've been watching the Iron Lords over the years, I was one of the first jokers commenting in there, and I comment all throughout the show.
Mm-hmm.
But I just couldn't take it. And when I see like some of these terrible journalists on the show, I have to bow out. And the best one at it is Shisno Elite. When he sees somebody like Jason Schreier, when they pop up on the screen, you could keep reading the comments. Shisno Elite be like, "I'm out."
Yeah.
All right. So Zinc man, give us your final thoughts.
Hey man, I'm good. I'm glad you had a show. I'm glad the chat showed up, man. My boy Tool, man, jumped in here. We talk all the time, and really everybody in here, man. Dank Fountain, I'm glad I heard him talk. Dr. Vodka, Dazzle, I'm just glad for the chat, man. Dia, close the show. I'm good.
Yeah, well, before Dia close, I'd actually like to say something because I tend to forget to give an outro, and then I'd be like, "Have a good night, guys." But yeah, chat. But yeah, chat, man. First of all, let me just praise the chat for a little bit. You guys are fantastic. For everyone who's watching, even if you're just watching right now, you never comment, don't comment. Thank you as well. For that as well. The people's going to view afterwards as well too. But the chat, you guys, I'm telling you, you guys add so much to the show.
Mhm.
It's unbelievable. And what makes it unbelievable is that I didn't see this coming. I'm glad that I don't have a toxic chat. I'm glad that we could just sit here
they
and have
toxic.
fun.
They ain't shit.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean toxic towards us.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Like they don't attack us. They don't.
Right.
Because I've been on plenty of other podcasts. Hell, I've watched I Love 100. He had podcasts that were just derailed due to the chat before. And I don't really like that for the type of show that I'm doing. But so the fact that everybody, they add so much, and then they're smart as hell too.
Yes.
That's what I also love, man. Sometimes they'll correct me on stuff that I miss, that I'll misspeak on.
Yeah.
Love stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to give the chat a shout out, and we're less than 2 weeks away from the showcase. I think we're exactly 2 weeks away because it's going to be Sunday, June 11th. Dea and Zinc, if y'all aren't working or anything, I hope y'all could join.
I'm gonna make sure I'm not doing anything.
I'm gonna definitely try.
Cool.
I'm definitely gonna try.
Yeah. Because it's gonna be a lot of fun to watch the showcase together. It's just gonna be another great celebration for us Xbox gamers. And with that, I'm gonna pass the mic out to
One more thing before you give it to the first lady. Dr. Vodka at 10:06, and I want to talk about this. I keep forgetting to talk about this. At 10:06 p.m., Dr. Vodka said, "Other Zinc," in all caps, he's yelling this at me. They still make PS4s. They are selling PS4s.
Wow.
And I said that before, but I'm going to elaborate on that next time we talk. But go ahead, dear.
Okay, well. All right, guys. The one thing I want to leave you guys with today is I never want to hear people say they're going to sell their Xboxes. they're dissatisfied with 343. That the Xbox studios are not as good as the PlayStation studios. It's all been exposed now. Look at what Xbox studios do. Look at how diverse they are and how much talent that's there. Okay, this is what you have, and from now on, just support your brand, support the studios that are working hard to make these games. And yes, we have been waiting, but now you understand that everybody is going through this. This is not just the Xbox thing; that's a narrative, and that we are going to get these games. And this showcase is going to show that we are going to see some of them because Phil said that we would. and he's usually a man of his word. He tries to
Correct.
stick to what he can. He's human, but he tries to stick to what he can, and you know, bring you guys the very best that he can. So all that stuff that we had to endure, what, about 2-3 weeks ago, all of that has been reversed on his head now. Now
Mhm.
you see, this is the real Xbox. This is the real Sony. Now you
Mhm.
guys see it without a veil, okay? And this is what I'm leaving you with. Don't let them smoke and mirrors you. Don't
Mhm.
let them give you a narrative and you believe it, and now you're down and you feel bad about, you know, Xbox, you feel bad about Phil, you feel bad about life, you know, whatever. Don't let them do that to you, because that's what they're good at. I give the ponies that. They're good at their narratives. They're good at changing things. They're good at attacking and attacking without letting you have a breath.
Yep.
But this is, if you know what you know, you stand on what you know, and you don't let anything move you.
Right.
And that's what I want to leave you guys with.
That's on life too.
That
Yeah.
is true. That's true to life too.
Hey, excellent words of wisdom from the first lady of chat, and well, now the first lady of the truth, really.
Right.
All right, guys, enjoy your Memorial Day tomorrow, and everybody have a great week. And we are out.